It's great to be here. Got a cheesesteak today, so I'm happy.
Terrific. Perfect. All right, let's get the questions rolling. Down here.
Austin Petallo, Trend Philly Hoops. 2 questions, Mick. One, where is the cheesesteak from?
You know what? They catered it for lunch. It wasn't D'Alessandro's,
Okay.
but it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if they make a bad one here.
No.
It's kind of hard to find one that's bad.
Right.
And 2, what's the update with Jaime? Is he practicing? Is he going to play?
We're going to try to have him do some stuff today. Obviously, I've been, treating him with kid gloves all week, so hopefully he can get some things done. I think, he's going to want to try to play. The question is, can he be effective? Playing is one thing. Can he play well? So I will know more. As you guys know, our practice times here in about 30 minutes, so we'll see how he looks today.
Do you think he can be effective?
He hasn't done anything all week, so I don't know. I haven't let him do anything but shoot. So we'll see.
Okay.
CL Brown, Raleigh
What's up,
News
CL?
Observer. How you doing, Mick?
Long time, man.
Long time. I was curious. You guys were supposed to play Carolina back in December. If you guys already had scouting reports and everything prepared, I was just wondering what is the biggest difference between Carolina back then and what you've seen now?
That's probably a good one for my associate head coach, Darren Savino, because he was on them. We were preparing to play Alabama State, and I got COVID. I had the shakes, man. I wasn't one of those asymptomatic dudes. So he was preparing to coach the game, actually. They were, but then everybody just started falling like dominoes for us. But I think, look, I guess I'll just take it further for you. Hubert's a great guy, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. But Coach, he's a coach. So Coach Davis has done a tremendous job with him. Big change, big shoes to fill, obviously, tough. I did it at Cincinnati following Coach Huggins. He made a lot of changes to their offensive style of play. I think it just probably took him some time. Just when you're changing, the passing game, the secondary, and you go into a more modern NBA spread, pick and roll. It probably just took them some time, some adjusting to find their stride, maybe Coach Davis as well. But obviously, they're playing extremely well right now. So it's a credit to the job that he's done and his talents. I think they picked the right guy.
Coach, how you doing? Chris Hayre, CBS Los Angeles.
Hey.
Recognizing every game in the tournament is huge, but when you see and you say UCLA and North Carolina, it's got a different meaning. As someone who just has a great appreciation for the history of the game, what is it like to play in a game of this magnitude in the tournament against a team like that?
Yeah, just, growing up in my household, it was Dean Smith and Bob Knight. For my dad, who was a high school coach, and having read all Coach Smith's books about, I know all about the Carolina way. So I have great reverence for their program and the history of their program. So every now, but again, every time I turn left on Sunset, I pinch myself every day. I was fortunate enough to get a contract extension, thanking Chancellor Block and Martin. And I tell Chancellor Block, when I take that left every day, it's hard to believe. So, it's just obviously I think it's important the older you get to, be thankful for stuff like this, just to be a part of it. I didn't grow up on third base, so for a guy like me to get here to a point where you're coaching at UCLA and then you're coaching in a game like this, it's pretty cool, man.
Eamon Brennan, The Athletic head coach. I'm wondering if you can talk about the differences in mentality and preparation where you guys are this year in the season you've had versus how you were in the tournament last year, and if you see some similarities in where you guys were in the tournament last year with this Carolina team playing really well, talented, but took a little while to figure things out.
Yeah, I mean, there could be, when you're comparing them this year to us last year, because we weren't as deep as we are this year. Let's assume we're healthy. So they're they don't play a lot. They play their starters a big. I heard some of the people referring to their starters as the Iron Five. So we did a lot of that late in the year last year after Chris Smith and Jalen Hill went down for us. So I think there's a lot of similarities, and they're playing really well right now. They're confident. a newer coach, similar to our guys. So a lot of similarities in that regard. Hopefully that they won't be similar if they make the Final Four.
Tarek Patel from the LA Daily News. Coach, Cody Riley and Miles Johnson, their size, and just how important that is in this game, and maybe it's not. Your take on that?
Well, it's important every game, but I think you're referring to Bako. I think he to me Bako's a poster child for staying in school. You get better, guys just get better. Everybody who's a McDonald's All-American doesn't turn out in year one, and I don't care. The so-called geniuses that don't have him on the draft board, or in my opinion, they're missing out. Because everybody, whether it was Paul Millsap, or Montrezl Harrell, anybody that averages 11, 12, almost 13 rebounds, makes it in the NBA. He'll make it, period. My respect for him is off the charts. Because he stayed in school and he's learned how to impose his physicality on a game for the entire game, that makes them such. I mean, he imposes physicality on Mark Williams. That's hard to do now. Mark's a great player and another pro. So our big guys they got their hands full, man. And we've been working on it all week. I mean, they got their hands full. It's hard to simulate his presence around the rim on offense, and then he goes after every rebound. I mean, he's impressive. To me, he's like Montrezl Harrell. He's taller.
Okay, we'll go in the back first and then come back up here.
Mick, Pete Thamel from ESPN.
Hey, Pete.
You had some kind of quips this week about Jaimes' ankles, and you kind of said he couldn't sprain them anymore.
That's true.
I'm just wondering, a player who's as tough as he is and kind of your emotional heartbeat, what it's been like to kind of watch him sort of go through this journey and dealing with this kind of stuff, and what's that's been like for him?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a weird year. I mean, I had to watch Cody not play for 2 months. Jaimes, I'm going to say in the last 2 months, when he was able to start practicing, he was playing without practicing for a while, just to getting back on the court. But then once he started practicing, Pete, that's when he started dominating. He got his rhythm back. So it's just, for these kids, they worked their whole life to be on this stage. We went through it last year, and Jules Bernard got food poisoning the night before the Gonzaga game. It's just, and as a coach, if you're lucky enough, you get other chances. These guys, they only get so many shots at this. So it's obviously extremely unfortunate that Jaime's dealing with this. But I will tell you, if anybody can deal with it, it's him. He is the epitome of physical and mental toughness.
Ben Bulch, Los Angeles Times.
What's up, Ben?
Hey, I know you expect to be at UCLA a long time and do a lot of great things, but this team will always be the first that went to the Final Four with you. How special is this team to you and all these guys who came back to try to do it again?
Oh, extremely. It's a great question because, like my message to those guys is we'll have a meeting tonight. Everybody knows, obviously, it's win or go home. But for me, again, if you're fortunate to coach at UCLA, just be fortunate to coach out my new contract. But I'm not going to get to coach Jules Bernard again. So I'm the type of guy, I'm well aware of, I'm very cognizant and well aware of you are where you are because of the people that helped you. And it starts with the players. So, there was, as you know, covering us, there was not a mass exodus when I got the job. Now there's a mass exodus, even though it's the same coach. But now, could you imagine if the portal, take a job now? By the time you get on the plane to go to your press conference, half the team's probably in the portal. We had nobody in the portal. And, they all embraced us as new coaching staff, and we got to work on rebuilding UCLA basketball to, amongst the nation's best programs. And we would not have done that if they wouldn't have stayed. So obviously, in particular, the 3 seniors, but we got some guys who could get drafted, so we could lose more than 3. So I'm very, very cognizant of the fact that this could be our last ride together as a group. So it's been awesome though. So hope we got 10 or 11 more days left in us. So.
Go ahead, Chris, and then we'll go back.
Yeah, Chris Murray, Philadelphia Sunday Sun. I heard Shaheen Holloway say earlier in the day that he likes to have kids who have a chip on their shoulder, who maybe not the most recruited guy in the world. Is that the same? And looking at how this UCLA team developed in the last year when going to the Final Four, is that what you ideally would like for a team?
I think it helps. I think young people. I mean, we could go on for a while about this, but I'll try to be quick. It's a burden when you're ranked high to live up to the hype. To me, it helps you if you're underrated because you have your hunger and your ambition instead of having it given to you or theoretically given it to you by somebody, some guy in a basement that ranks you 7th in the country. You know, so what happens, you know, what Shah would tell you is because, you know, what he's done, by the way, is unbelievable. I love him, man. We're friends. So, you know, where he comes from, you know, it's a miracle, Shaheen Holloway's story. You know, they need to do, you know, where he comes from, what he's accomplished in his career and his life, and St. Peter's is the greatest story to me. And if you've been there and you know him from high school, so he's going to say that. I'm the same way. My life wasn't near as tough, but you know, like I said, I'm a son of a high school coach from Cincinnati, man. You know, so I think we probably lean towards guys like that. But I think it also, you know, it's hard for young kids that are rated high this day and age. They, you know, in our game, kids start getting told they're a pro in 9th grade. They haven't accomplished anything. It's tough for those. I feel for those guys. It's easier for the underrated guy because he stays hungry.
The one in the back first.
Cole Nowak, Philly Sports Digest. Hey, Coach, as you said previously, just a few minutes ago, sometimes you have to pinch yourself when you're taking a left. And as you come and you play UNC, two blue bloods who have so much history in college basketball, how is it hard to manage the team's emotions and kind of keep them in check throughout the week? And how do you prepare them to play 40 full minutes of basketball and get to the Elite Eight?
Yeah, I think, you know, our experience, we having been through the tournament last year, is a factor. We're just focused on North Carolina. You know, we know we have to beat, these guys know they have to beat Carolina or we're going home, man, and it's all over. So I say the time change, we left Tuesday just to get out of LA, get away from everybody telling us how great we are. That's a concern of mine. You know, I think it helped us being in the bubble last year. You know, so everybody, it's a lot easier to stay hungry when everybody's not telling you how great you are. So we tried to get the heck out of town as fast as I could, you know, so get these guys back in our little bubble. But our guys know, like they get it. It's, you know, for you guys, the blue blood thing and all that, for them, they know they got to play well. I mean, we play good teams all the time, so these guys are playing a lot of big games, so they get it. I mean, if we were playing St. Peter's, it'd be the same way. Got to win or we're going home.
Hey, Coach. Sam Cronin, Sports Illustrated All Bruins. How's it going? Manic, obviously talented stretch four. How do you anticipate what he's going to do and how you defend him? And do you kind of have to drop multiple defensive game plans when you don't know if Jaime is going to be able to be out there or not?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you know, Jaime's going to try, guys. I can tell you. Unless something goes bad today, I would think he's going to try. The question is, can he be effective? But you know, more pointedly with Manic, he just kills your defense because he can catch the way he's been shooting it, the confidence he's been playing with. He just stretches you to death, and it makes them like a pro team offensively. You know, like pro guys always. My pro friends will say, well, you guys don't know how to space the floor in college the way, you know, when you talk to them. And I said, no. We know how to space the floor. We just all don't shoot it the way the pro teams shoot. You know, it's easy. You know, all their stuff works because you got guys like, you know, Bogdanovich or Manic standing there at 6'10", and he can catch it and let it fly in a half a second. So so anybody can space the floor, but you're not going to stretch my defense. He stretches your defense. You know, that's the problem. which now you got Baco rolling, you got RJ and Caleb Love driving. So, you know, the role he's on is a big problem because he stretches your defense. Then what happens is you start giving up the three and the layup. And you can't give up both, you know. So you got to take something away. You start trying to take everything away, then you start giving up everything.
Okay, we have time for one more right there. Thank you.
Hi, Ty Dobbert from City of Basketball Love in Philly. You mentioned before kind of the bubble situation last year. It helps you maybe keep a little more focus. But also making a run into the Sweet 16 this year with a little more of that traditional excitement, the crowds back in the stadiums. What's it been like for you guys?
Oh, I think it's great for the guys. Again, you know, they had no idea what was going on. We came in to go to Portland, and Peyton Watson had more luggage than a guy going on a trip around the world. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, Coach, we're going to win." He goes, "We ain't going to be back for 3 weeks." I said, "No, my man, we win 2 in Portland. We're coming home." You know, but he knew last year because last year I'm FaceTiming him from Portland the whole time, or from Indy the whole time, you know, while he was back in Long Beach. So, you know, he didn't know. You know, he didn't know. So it's that's a funny one for you. But anyway, no, it's great for the guys and all these kids in college. Again, you know, one thing that Coach Krzyzewski said that I remember retirement-wise, he said the older you get, the more you can make it about the kids, make everything you do about the players, that your job gets easier. The pressure goes away a little bit, you know, because it isn't about you and keeping your job. You know, you're trying to help them win so they can chase their dreams. So this is great for them, you know, because last year was obviously it was a great run for us, but you know, there's 1,500 people at games. It was a little unusual, to say the least.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys, thank you.
Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.